remarks and comments you're making in the spirit of time and with the full agenda that we have. If you have some comments that have already been made, if you have something that needs to be submitted, please see me to do that. If there's some comments that have already been made that reflect yours and you feel that that's been taken care of, you can let us know that as well. So, first person on our list, this sheet I have here would be Catherine Hanratty.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Well, hi. I'm going to do two reports today, and I can do both of them in less than 3 minutes. So, I'm Catherine Hanratty. Today I'm speaking on behalf of the People's Oil and Gas Collaborative of Ohio. We read with great dismay that the Muskegon Watershed Conservancy District decided to renege on its promise to halt water sales until the completion of the USGS study. Comprehensive water studies and environmental impact studies prior to the consideration of any large water sale is only responsible. These scientific studies should be crucial components of any decision. Moving forward without solid, independently verified baseline assessments is neither prudent nor responsible. It's equally imperative that the board entrusted to conserve and protect water do so in a way that is responsible and accountable to the people. The watershed contained in the lakes and reservoirs of the Muskegon Watershed Conservancy District is an important public resource valued by all Ohioans. We ask that baseline testing of water quality be completed before any further lease or sale of public resource takes place. To adequately determine the potential impacts of withdrawals, modeling must be determined that examines the long-term cumulative impacts of any and all new withdrawals. This must include worst-case scenarios. Projections showing the effects of such demand compounded by increases in population and temperature should also be considered. It must be acknowledged to the public that the recent demands for large volume water sales are unique and unprecedented due to the fact that this water will never be returned to the water cycle. This information must be readily accessible to the public and to enable informed and meaningful comment. Public comment must be considered an integral part of the decision-making process. It must not be an afterthought. Thank you, and I'll merge right into my statement from the Ohio Environmental Council. The Ohio Environmental Council believes that the public should have a right to know about and comment on any proposed water sales and drilling leases in the Muskegon Watershed Conservancy District. Additionally, independent studies should be completed to determine if water withdrawals would have any significant impact on the lakes, wildlife, and people that depend on them. Specifically, the OEC urges that the MWCD provide the public with at least 30 days notice on all provide water sales and oil and gas lease agreements. Provide an additional 30 days for the public to provide comment on the water sales and lease agreements, and then provide a summary and response to all comments received from the public, and that these documents should be posted on the MWCD website. Thank you very much for your time.
The next person who's asked to address the board, and I'm having trouble reading this. Patty Leonard, am I close?
Patty Stewart.
Okay. You're on?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I apologize.
That's okay. Good morning. My name is Patty Stewart, and I'm a member of the Stewards of the Land. I would first like to thank all of you for your time and dedication in helping us to protect and conserve the Muskegon watershed. By being a part of this organization, you show that you share our love of the land and that you do not take your responsibilities lightly. The Muskegon Watershed Conservancy District mission statement reads as follows: responsible stewards dedicated to providing the benefits of flood reduction, conservation, and recreational opportunities in the Muskegon River watershed. By your membership and duties, you have chosen to be responsible stewards. The term steward referring to in part a responsibility to take care of something belonging to someone else. Water being our most valued and vital resource is incumbent on all of us for its judicious use, preservation of its quality, and protection of its loss. When the dammed waters lower their water levels in the fall, protect surrounding areas from flooding, maintain the ecosystem and integrity of the lake. This water runoff remains viable and is cycled back into the earth. If we sell our water runoff to companies for use in hydrofracturing, we are all well aware at the time of sale that it will be mixed with unknown but highly toxic chemicals. Chemicals that will now make our water no longer viable or safe to use in any form. When these companies are done with our now toxic water, it may be stored temporarily in shallow ponds that with heavy rainfall may overflow and be absorbed by the surrounding land. The remaining fluid, no longer water, is trucked away by tankers, which if involved in an accident may spill this toxic mix into our creeks, rivers, and onto our land. But most of all, we now know the end result was the clean water we sold. It has been transformed into a dangerous, highly toxic liquid called fractured fluid. The only disposals of it that we can think of are injection wells located at a profit on someone else's property. But it all began with us. We will have all failed our mission to conserve. By the very nature of erosion, at some point, maybe not in our lifetime, these injection wells will start to break down and this vile fluid will begin to seep and or leak rapidly out, destroying the very water we vowed to protect. Quoting Henry Tickens, because we don't think about future generations, they will never forget us. I again would like to thank you for your time and dedication to the conservation of our waters.
Next is Allison. I know I'm not going to pronounce the name right, so I'm just going to say Allison for Food and Water Watch.
Thank you. So, Board of Directors, and watershed staff. I'm Allison Tello. I'm an organizer with Food and Water Watch, and today I'm representing nearly 3,000 supporters of the work that we do here in the Muskegon Watershed Conservancy District. We are opposed to the water sale, opposed to the leasing of land for fracking. So today I'm also delivering more than 800 petition signatures from supporters of Credo Action. They are opposed to the water sales for fracking as well. They ask that you honor your previous commitment to halt all water sales until the completion of the U.S. Geological Survey study and an update to the water policy that will include public comment on sales and leases of land to the oil and gas industry. We are deeply disappointed that all water sales and land leases may not be subject to public comment if the comment period is enacted as it has now been proposed. We also have strong concerns that the Board of Directors may only be given a summary of comments made during such public comment period, and that those will be hand-chosen by the MWCD staff. MWCD is a public entity and should therefore be accountable to the public for any and all decisions made, especially with regard to public property, whether it's land or water. So these resources belong to the public and should be governed with consideration of input from every person who is impacted. The proposed protocols for the public comment period lack transparency, accountability, and are wholly inadequate. In the course of working on this issue, we've been surprised to observe that MWCD staff has willingly dismissed any public opposition to water sales and land leases for fracking. Such dismissal includes the following: terms of sales. So long-term, short-term, temporary, major is one of the other things that I've heard, appear to be undefined and used in an attempt to keep the public and the Conservancy Corps out of the loop on decision making. A lack of direct communication between the public and the board and the Conservancy Corps is an issue. accountability as well. The MWCD staff would not confirm that they would act in the public interest if the majority of the public opposed the water sales or the land uses for fracking. And a lot of times, agenda items of board meetings are not transparent as well. So items regarding oil and gas are often classified generally as an oil and gas update or under other business. And people don't know about what's happening until it's already happened. So what taxpayers have demanded is accountability and transparency from the MWCD and the opportunity to have the same influence that the oil and gas industry now enjoys with the MWCD. Ultimately, they want and need a conservancy that refuses to risk the long-term viability of public resources in exchange for a temporary increase in cash flow.